We finally get an update on one of our star players with concerns that he's out for the entire season. Jerry Jones provides us an update that we have been looking for, and we got to break it all down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Cowboys Football 365. If you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, please hit that subscribe button. Only 3.2% of viewers are subscribed to the channel, but let's jump into the topic for today. Coming from sportingnews.com, the Dallas Cowboys have been without cornerback Trevon Digg for several weeks now due to an injury. Diggs has been out due to a concussion, but the injury didn't take place on the field. Instead, the Cowboys cornerback sustained the injury in an at-home incident, and the details of said incident remain unclear. Diggs can be activated off of IR at any time, but the Cowboys did not do that this week. They didn't even designate him to return from injured reserve, so the easiest that Trevon Diggs can make his return to the field is in week 14, although it isn't even clear if even that will actually happen. Once the Cowboys designate him to return from IR, Dallas will have 21 days to activate Diggs, so his absence could extend for multiple weeks more after he is designated to return. So, of course, Trevon Diggs, our number one cornerback for the last couple years, signed a 5-year, $97 million contract, and so far hasn't lived up anything close to that contract. The Cowboys, we have an out, so we can cut him after this season if we decide that that's the way that we want to go. And right now, it does look like there is a high likelihood that Trevon Diggs' contract is going to be terminated with us because he has not lived up anything close to the contract that he signed. He had that year that he had a ton of interceptions, and ever since that, his production has been kind of slipping. He's always been a gambler, which is he'll give up a lot of yards, but he will also get a lot of interceptions, which means, interceptions are game-changing plays, and is actually the right type of cornerback that our defense needs because our offense is really, really good. So as long as we can get the ball in Dak Prescott's hands, we are going to have a chance to win football games. And when you have a gambler on defense like Trevon Diggs, he is going to either be giving up touchdowns really fast to give us the ball back on offense faster, or he's going to be making interceptions, which also can be game-changing plays that also give Dak Prescott the football back. So I do think Trevon Diggs is the perfect fit for this defense if we are able to get him on the field. It's not looking good right now, especially on a DB room, especially a cornerback room. We cut Ceedee Lamb earlier this week, and we are just looking for answers on the back end. Someone asked Jerry Jones, people are asking, is Trevon Diggs going to be out for the entire season? And Jerry Jones has an answer to that. While there may be concern that Diggs may not make it back at all this season, owner Jerry Jones shot that down. He said, why not? Yes, why not? But there's a little beyond my expectations. We've got to see how he heals from his injury. He's been there, physically there in shape for us. So whether or not you want to trust, this pretty much comes down to whether or not you want to trust Jerry Jones. How much faith do you have in Jerry Jones? Because it does feel like he kind of just says whatever he wants at any time. And frankly, if I was the owner of a team, I would give the media no updates. I would turn it to Bill Belichick and not say anything at the podium. So I understand why Jerry Jones wants to keep his the updates on his players. He wants to play them close to the vest because he does not want to give away updates to teams that we are facing in the future. You want to hang on to any sort of competitive advantage that we can possibly give ourselves. So there's no reason to give the Kansas City Chiefs, the Detroit Lions, or anyone else that we're going to be playing in the future a leg up on our defense. We want to keep them guessing on who they are going to be facing on a day-to-day basis. But coming from Cowboys insider John Machota on Twitter, we have an update on one of the cornerbacks who will be being elevated to the starting roster now that Ceedee Lamb is cut and Trevon Diggs is still out dealing with his injury. The Cowboys have elevated defensive back Corey Ballentine from the practice squad for tomorrow's game. Corey Ballentine is a journeyman cornerback who has jumped around from a bunch of different teams. I don't have the list of teams in front of me, but this guy, he's a depth piece. He's not going to be a game-changing cornerback for us versus Kansas City today. But, we're going to see. You can never have enough cornerbacks because it's a position that once you get one or two injuries, that position gets thin quickly. And I know you can rotate through safeties and there's more flexibility with who you can put back there. Even if you're the Green Bay Packers, you can take one of your wide receivers and put him at cornerback. So there are options when we are filling out that cornerback position, but we specifically need to get that cornerback room locked down because there have been too many busts in the back end, and that's one of the number one reasons why our defense has been so bad this season. Jerry has put together a fantastic interior run stuffing defense, but the thing is, if teams can't run the ball against us, the next thing they're going to do is they're going to look to pass it. So we have to make sure we are not giving up long bombs. We have to stay disciplined on the back end. Guys need to be able to communicate with each other. And the fact that we are rotating guys in and out of the lineup at the defensive back position is really bad for the communication because it's harder for guys to, guys get better communicating with each other when they are with the same group of guys for a long period of time. If we were doing things like cutting Ceedee Lamb, upgrading other people, and just overall rotating people through in that cornerback room, it's going to be that much harder on the back end to make sure your communication is top notch. And you add that in to a first year with us defensive coordinator, and then it's even tougher because people are using new vocabulary in this season. And I know we are in week 13, so the vocabulary isn't exactly new at this point, but it's new for some of our guys. Our number 2 cornerback right now is Siobhan Revel, who's going to be playing in only his 3rd game so far this season as a rookie cornerback. There's just so much turnover on the back end. It is making what is already an under-talented group, it is making their job so much more difficult, and that's going to be a problem for us going forwards. We are trying to make a playoff push here, and how well the cornerback room is able to mesh with each other is going to be a huge part without a doubt going forwards. And honestly, right now, I could just see us winning the games we have to win, being in the final big game we have to win, and we give up some sort of long bomb due to a defensive miscommunication. I could just see that be the exact way that this season ends, but we're not there yet. Right now, it's Thanksgiving, playing every year. Today, the Kansas City Chiefs are coming to Jerry's World. Kansas City, I believe they're only one game over 500 at 6-5. Really not what you're expecting out of the team that has won their division 9 years in a row. We are going to try to make a run at it. A lot of people said we couldn't beat the Philadelphia Eagles last week. I said it's not set in stone. The Eagles' statistics or analytics do not suggest that they are actually an 8-win football team. They're getting a little bit lucky, plus they have an elite defense. So we were a good matchup for Philly because we have a fantastic offense. So when they had their weekly offensive struggles, our also struggling defense was able to just struggle a little bit less and was able to shut them down, while our offense, they did their thing and gave us a win in that game. But Kansas City, this is another team where the name is really scary, but they're not as good as they've been in the past. This is another winnable game for Dallas, but unlike that first Eagles game, or the second Eagles game from last week, where I expected us to win it, you have to imagine at some point Patrick Mahomes, the greatest quarterback of all time, he's got to figure this thing out. Like, he's not going to miss the playoffs for the Kansas City Chiefs. In his whole career, he's always made the play when it matters, and he's most likely going to do that against somebody this season. Is it going to be us today? Hopefully not. Currently, we are installed as a 3-point underdog at home. Betting odds makers love the Kansas City Chiefs despite their subpar record. Right now, they are not even in the playoffs should the playoffs end today, but neither are we. And we're trying to make a playoff push the same way they are trying to make a playoff push. The playoffs are going to get a whole lot clearer after this week, and this is one of the biggest games to shape wildcard races, to shape divisional races. The Chiefs, they drop 1 or 2 games here, they're going to be out of the competition for their division. The Denver Broncos are running up a whole lot of wins, and the Denver Broncos have a win over Kansas City. But we are also trying to make a run at the division here. We got some more divisional opponents coming up in the Commanders and the New York Giants, but it starts today. Got to find a way to get a win versus the Kansas City Chiefs, although it's going to be tough because Patrick Mahomes just knows how to break down defenses. If we have a miscommunication on the back end from our cornerbacks or our deep safeties today, we're going to pay for it every single time. Patrick Mahomes, one of the best deep ball throwers in the entire National Football League. Now that they drafted Xavier Worthy 2 years ago out of the University of Texas, they got a deep threat again. So if we make mistakes and leave guys open on the back end, they are fast enough to make us pay, and Patrick Mahomes is good enough to make us pay. He's never going to miss it. Got to make sure the back end is completely sound. Expect a lot of umbrella coverage. Allow us to force Patrick Mahomes to check the football down, and then the next step is rallying up to make a tackle. But the defense looks so much better over the last 2 weeks, and I'm hoping that the improvements are going to stay strong in what is their biggest test of the entire season in the Kansas City Chiefs. And I can't wait to watch how it breaks down. If you stuck around all the way this long into the video, I appreciate you taking your time to watch it all the way through. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Thanks for watching. Go Cowboys, and happy Thanksgiving.